want a chance to win at over $3,000 in prizes. It's free. Go to the Paddle and Fin Facebook page, fill out our Spring Madness bracket. We got matches between all the hosts here at Paddle and Fin, and we added Josh Smith from the Dark Waters Kayak Fishing Podcast. We're going to battle it out. Live streams will be every Sunday, so you could follow along on your bracket to see how you're doing every Sunday morning between 8 and noon, your local time, and the top 7 places of the brackets are going to have a chance at huge prizes. We got Orion coolers, Ketch Products, Never Lost Tethers, Flip It ID holders, Angler Button, a chance at a Black Pack or a Chinook PFD, $50 gift card to South Mountain Media, TRC Covers, Boss Buffs. We got a Rack Net, Yak Gadget, RoboHawk, Biz Baits, Wicked Weights, She Angler Custom Baits. I mean, guys, the list is long. Go fill out your bracket. Either send it in to the Paddle and Fin Facebook page or email it to paddle, the letter N, and fin at gmail.com for your chance to win today.
This segment is brought to you by JigMasters Jigs. When in doubt, get the jig out. Go to JigMasters.com and use promo code PNF20 and save 20% off your next jig order today.
Podcast of all things kayak fishing. We are hosts are a bunch of long-time fishermen who decided to get in the kayak fishing world, and guess what? They're taking you along for the ride. So buckle in and welcome to Paddle and Fin.
Hello and welcome back to the Paddle and Fin podcast. I'm Brian, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking with my man Cody Jennings from JigMasters Jigs. I'm going to talk about business during the coronavirus, some new things in the works over there at JigMasters and things like that. So, without further ado, Cody, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is I like this, man. It's like a never-ending thing here, man. We always got your back. You're always coming with new products and stuff like that. It's good to see, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yep, I like to stay busy, that's for sure.
Yeah, sounds like it. It sounds like the month of March was pretty crazy from what you were telling me. And let's get into that, man. What's been going on at JigMasters and what happened in the month of March?
Yeah, so, obviously, the whole COVID-19's kind of got the world flipped upside down right now, and I was really expecting, really it to be a slow month due to it,
Right.
Which I think most businesses were for the most part. And, but anyways, so we started going on and honestly, like the online orders and stuff like that, they were trending pretty well. And, it was going to be a pretty decent month. And all of a sudden, about the second week of March, I started getting contacted by a bunch of various tackle shops that either already kind of had my product in there, like from last year, or are just completely new shops, maybe some similar area to the ones I'm already in. But anyways, they started contacting me, and which is already cool that they're contacting me versus me contacting them.
Right.
Big step in the business.
Yeah.
That means I'm doing something right. That means a couple of people are going through the doors asking, hey, do you guys carry it?
Yeah.
That's really the only way they find out. But anyways, kind of just to go through some of the numbers and stuff like that, a typical shop, whenever I contact them and they contact me, and whenever it's agreed upon that, hey, yeah, we want to give your lures a try, typically a first order, since I'm a small bait manufacturer, is going to be somewhere in the realms of, right around 200, anywhere from 150 to 200 jigs. And that's with everything combined, jigs, buzz baits, random terminal tackle, everything.
Right.
So I was kind of expecting to, pick up a couple more shops and pick up a couple orders of that similar size. And then I get the first order back from one of the bigger stores. It's actually the new Fisherman Central that's coming here to Port Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
I got in their order form. They send in, and I wake up to it. So I'm thinking, I'll open it up, and it'll say, $500-600, whatever.
Yeah, right.
And I open it up, and I start looking at it, and there's just numbers filled everywhere. It's like a matrix kind of, it has weights on one side and colors on the other.
Right.
And all of a sudden, so anyways, I totaled it up, and that order alone was just shy of 2,000 jigs.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So basically, that order alone had already beat my record month in sales just by itself.
Nice. Nice.
This March was extremely busy. And most of the other stores, they were placing anywhere in the realms of, instead of that 150 to 200 range, they were kind of placing anywhere from, 400 to, 600, kind of in that range. So even those increased as well.
Sure.
So it was really cool, to finally have that happen, have kind of a big burst on the scene. But I talked to, a couple of the shops. I said, I hate to ask because, I should just be happy, with the sale and stuff like that. And, hopefully developing a long-term relationship with a lot of these shops. I said, just curious, why did you place an order that size?
Right.
And what was said is we are struggling to get inventory from a lot of our big bait companies, our bigger names out there.
Right.
And the reason is a lot of those are,
based in
a lot
China.
of them are manufactured in China or somewhere overseas. And, so a lot of the stores, they're open, especially like a lot of the southern areas and stuff, the tackle stores are open. They got people coming in, it's kind of, especially down south, it's already, spawn/post spawn now.
Right.
To where, they got people coming in, they got empty shelves. So they said, hey, we know that you can get the product out, or we think you can, and that's why we're placing bigger orders, and the cool thing is, really I was able to meet all the deadlines and, still maintain the quality and stuff like that, now there's a lot of long hours.
Yeah.
Sure,
yeah. I know I talked to you and you said you were going nonstop, like 16, 18 hours a day or something, right?
I was pretty much doing 7 days a week, about 16 hours, typically was what I was running, and which I got really repetitive pretty quick too, but I wasn't quite set up for a month like that. Now, I made it happen, so all the shops are happy.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I was worried about what I was going to end up doing to my health, but so far, so good.
Right.
But unfortunately, caffeine's my friend again.
Yeah.
I had kicked that habit for a little bit, but it's definitely back. Yep, you got it too.
Always drinking coffee. Yeah.
But it was really cool. Not only was it, a huge increase in sales, I got to a lot of new shops, stuff like that. It also showed a lot of holes in, my business right now.
Yeah. Right.
And I mean that is just as far as like, production capacity, shop layout, stuff like that. So once that I got, finally got a lot of those orders out and stuff like that, it was start putting the pen to the paper and start kind of figuring out what do I need to do, to make this shop better.
Yeah.
With as minimal investment as possible.
Sure.
That's what I always laugh, like if I had a person come out and help or something like that one day, and it's like, well, why haven't you done this already or done this? It's like, guys, you got to have the money to do it.
Right.
There's 1,000 changes I want to make.
Yeah.
That 1,000 changes ends up being $50,000.
Right.
And so it is cool. It's cool that not only was I able to get those orders out, make sure everybody's happy. Kind of hope this develops a long-term relationship with a lot of them, you know, because in a way, like I kind of helped bail them out a little bit too, you know, from keeping their shelves stocked.
Sure.
You know, and obviously I appreciate the business regardless.
Right.
You know, so it was really cool. And now it's kind of cool to actually have some of that, you know, money open to actually start doing a lot of these projects, you know, to further grow JigMasters.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, I was just saying, like, so basically this or March alone, where I was worried, you know, that it was going to be a really lean month, I ended up basically beating my record month by 8 times.
That's crazy, dude. That's
you know,
crazy.
So, and it was weird. Like, this is the first time too, as you're making stuff, like you're actively watching stuff get low.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're powder painting, you know, jig heads and stuff, like you'll notice maybe the level in your fluid bed or whatnot, like it'll drop over like a couple of weeks. You'll kind of notice, oh, hey, it's dropped a little bit, right?
Sure.
In the same day, I'm having to refill these cups of paint. You know, like it was
How cool
that
is
was
that?
a new experience for sure. You know.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah, you know, and there were some people that were, you know, they were definitely worried, you know, hey, like you might be pushing too hard, or, you know, like the answer can't just be, you know, throw hours at it, you know, which is basically what I was doing. Like I said, you know, 7 times 16, a lot of hours.
Yeah.
You know, but at the same time, you know, even, you know, given my medical history and stuff like that, like I was worried too. But at the same time, there's a quote I heard, you know, if you're scared to go too far, you'll never go far enough. You know, so and that's
that.
Yeah, you know, and that quote,
like
you know, that kind of kept me going. You know, it's like, hey, look, like this is your opportunity. You know, you always hear the, you know, strike iron while it's hot kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, this was that opportunity. You know, and it was. Did it go as smooth as it possibly could? No, of course not. But at the end, I was able to get it done with the help of, you know, some friends and stuff like that. And I'm really excited for, you know, JigMasters to come.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. So, you know, obviously going through all these crazy huge orders, man, you realize like where you could make some changes with minimal investment. Like what all did you do to change it up to make yourself more efficient?
Well, so a lot of this stuff hasn't quite happened yet.
Okay.
But like basically, instead of having like even just like having one of the things I noticed was when I did have a couple, you know, people in here, you know, kind of helping stuff like that, is that there's no flow. It gets, you know, claustrophobic pretty quick. You're constantly running into each other, you know, so that was a big eye opener. And basically one of the big changes that are happening that I'm really excited for is that like all my fixed benches, kind of like the bench you see in the back there with the pegboard, obviously you see the pegboard right now.
Right.
It's actually going to where it's a pegboard that's in the center of like a 4x8 workbench, and then you have a you know, basically a work area on each side of the pegboard. So you can have 2 people working, or maybe even a couple more, but you know, 2 people working and they're on opposite sides, they're not running into each other.
Heck yeah.
And then the plan there too is to put everything on casters and have all the wiring done in basically internally in the cart to just, you know, a little pigtail, to where basically as long as I can get to an outlet and an extension cord, I can run and make lures anywhere I take the carts.
That's awesome.
Which kind of has obviously, you know, my mind, you know, gearing towards like, I wonder if I can kind of like set up at you know, whether it's like trade shows or whatever, but even if it's just setting up at tournaments or, you know, areas that I have, you know, a decent, you know, following and stuff already, you know, kind of showing up, setting up like a meet and greet, you know, making lures and all that stuff and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, the shop's changing. You know, there's we're painting it. I'm getting tired of that weird blue that you see above me.
Yeah.
Getting that out of there. But yeah, you know, we're gonna have I've got it finally set up I'm gonna have like a big, probably 40 to 50 inch TV wall mounted over in the one wall where it's basically underneath it will be like a shipping cart.
Yeah.
It may be a shipping bench, but it'll have everything there, but it'll be on caster so you can move it in and out. But basically, to when an order is placed, it'll automatically pop up onto a build schedule onto that TV.
Okay. Very cool, man.
Stuff like that. There's endless stuff. Like I said, so we're gonna do 2 of those big work, mobile work area, carts and stuff like that, and basically in the same footprint, I'll be able to get not only a better flow for whoever is over helping, but also too getting basically 6 times the workspace that I currently have.
Nice.
Well, not 6 times, 3 times. Sorry.
Okay.
Double that number. But yeah, 3 times the workspace that I had with better flow, but not taking up more space.
Very cool. Very cool. Let me ask you this, because I was having a conversation with Duke from Ketch, and he said right now, like, their biggest struggle is shipping. Are you having issues with like UPS and post office picking up packages from you? Because basically, since everything went into effect, and I know you're in Ohio, I'm in Ketch is in Illinois, so we're 2 different states, but I'm just curious about this. The UPS trucks quit coming to his shop, so he was having to throw all the packages in they were filling up a utility trailer and taking that to a UPS store. Are you kind of doing the same thing, or did you have a shipping service coming to your shop to pick up those packages, or do you usually drop them off?
Well, so basically what I was doing is I was making night runs to, I do most of my stuff through USPS.
Okay.
And I've already had several issues with my local post office, so I actually take it to the bigger town near me anyways.
Okay.
So I don't really have anybody pick up orders right now. I typically take the 10-minute drive from the town and drop them off myself.
Gotcha.
Now those drop-offs took a lot longer this month than they normally do.
Yeah.
Instead of having 2 to 3 packages, per night or whatever, a couple of days or whatnot, it was taking 20 and 30 at a time.
Yeah.
And then my biggest issue that I really came across as far as shipping goes was realizing I don't have boxes big enough to ship these big shop orders.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to think, if you order, let's say you order even 20 jigs.
Yeah.
You can easily put 20 jigs in a little, 8x10 bubble mailer.
Sure.
Like it doesn't take up that much space, but
right.
Like the order to Fisherman Central, that took 7 14x14x10 boxes.
Wow.
And the one I couldn't close. But I actually drove and dropped those off because, it's a little bit of a drive, but
yeah,
it was actually, with gas prices what they are, it was actually cheaper for me to go drive and take it.
Right. So, I believe it, man.
So I was like, so that's what I did for that order. But no, it's one of the biggest hurdles right now is incoming material.
Okay.
So I did put a disclaimer on, the website, saying, hey, obviously I'm going to push and try to get all orders out on time.
Mm-hmm.
But do be a little cognizant on, hey, some of the stuff might be a couple days late,
Sure.
And that's the biggest thing I've noticed is incoming material. You get the notification and says, hey, it's going to be there Tuesday. And it's kind of set up in your head like, okay, well, as soon as this comes in Tuesday, let's process it. Let's get this stuff made.
Right.
And then that box shows up Thursday.
Yeah.
Or, sometimes even 3 days late. That's been the biggest struggle, I would say.
Okay. Yeah, I know I received a package. We got the new P&F buffs here, and that package was supposed to come in, I think on like a Thursday, and it ended up not getting here till like Friday or Saturday. It was like a day or 2 late. And I was talking to somebody else, and this was non-fishing related, but they were saying that Amazon orders are get, delayed because of this whole
Right.
coronavirus thing. So I was just curious, man, like, because I think that's a great question. From the consumer's point of view, is stuff shipping out, but it sounds like your stuff is still, as far as your shipping is getting out, but obviously you're getting a little delayed on getting materials in just because of all this crazy mess going on.
Yeah, and once again, one of my weird, strict rules I have with myself for this business, whether it's smart or not, I don't know, but is that I refuse a bank loan for the business.
Sure,
now,
sure.
Where that's gotten tough is, the projects I'm doing to make the shop better and even more aesthetically pleasing, stuff like that. That's just all labor. It's not super expensive materials.
Right.
But the issue is too, and that I'm constantly battling, is everybody's like, "Oh man, you had this huge increase in sales and stuff. You must be rich." It's like, well, the time I get done reinvesting back in the business, I didn't get that big of a cut.
Right.
But honestly, what people don't realize is that, most shops work on a net 30 system.
Right.
So I don't see my money really until, anywhere from 25 to 30 days after they receive the product.
Right.
But since all of these shop orders came in at once, they ransacked my material, that I had, my inventory of components that I had.
Right.
And that money's not in my bank account yet. So I'm having to dig up jars out of the backyard, to get a couple pennies out to try to get some hooks and stuff,
You got jars in the backyard?
No, of course I do, yeah.
I'll come over with a shovel, bro.
Yeah. I mean, there ain't much there anymore. You'll see a whole bunch of dirt mounds everywhere. But because I already ransacked my own stash back there.
Oh, man. I get it, man. I get it. Business is a tricky thing, man. I know, just like from my experience being in business, I would do some work for some other flooring stores and stuff, and they're waiting to get paid before you get paid. It's
right.
You're the lower guy on the totem pole, right? So I totally get it, man. And it's funny, as a business owner, you're always constantly trying to evolve your business and reinvest in it, and it's like, even though you have a stellar month, you're not filthy rich. It's funny when people look at it that way, you know what I mean? So it's cool, man. It's cool. So, well, you're growing, man, which is great, and it's good to see you not only grow like on the individual consumer side, but those bigger bait shop stores, man. So congrats on that. That's huge.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, it definitely has me extremely excited about JigMasters.
Heck yeah,
more than
man.
I naturally was. And I kept, for the most part, I've always been promoting, slow and steady growth.
Sure.
But this month I didn't have a chance. It wasn't like I was promoting anymore. It was
right.
And it's kind of messed up that little chart that I had of the consistent growth. You got a big spike now.
Yeah.
But then I've got purchasing agreements signed up for another 6 new stores by the end of this month.
That's awesome.
So this month will be fairly similar too. But yeah, it's really cool. Like I said, and once these the bigger accounts and stuff start paying when they comes due, it's making me excited because it's really got a lot of the new lure launches and stuff like that. I can get a lot of those back on track.
Okay. Yeah.
And in all honesty, I am actually looking at the legalities of truly hiring somebody too. Which I'm pretty sure I got the person nailed down. It's actually one of my friend's little brother. He's not that much, he's a couple of years younger than me, but definitely has a skill set that I had no idea he did. He's extremely good with 3D modeling and stuff like that, which I can do it, but what takes me 4 hours takes him 10 minutes.
That's yeah.
So
yeah. Time is money, my friend.
So that's 4 hours and a lot of cuss words. So
Yeah.
and But yes, I'm really gonna try to work it out that when he graduates, he's got about a year left. Then he graduates, that I can actually kind of like hire him in, salary wise. And I mean, like I said, the skill set he has is pretty cool. Like he built his own foundry.
Yeah,
So
nice.
He's melting down and casting aluminum.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Who does this?
Yeah, I've seen that done. A guy where I used to have my old wood shop, man, he built something similar to that, and the way they cast aluminum and sand and like the foam molds they make to do it, dude, it's crazy. It was mind blowing to me. So I know exactly what you're talking about. If you guys have never seen that, like, look up a YouTube video. It'll blow your mind.
Right.
Super cool.
So I'm pretty excited, and I think he's going to really work out, be a big benefit for the business.
Nice, dude. Heck yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be weird to actually, potentially actually have a true employee.
Yeah.
But, because I'm used to fighting with myself.
Yeah.
So.
Well.
No, I'm really excited for what I'm going to be, what I have been, and also what I will be able to continue to do out of my nice, humble, single-car garage in Weston, Ohio.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
Which, if you ever look it up, it ain't much of a town. I think there's like 7 houses and a pizza place.
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Hey, at least they got the essentials, man. Pizza and gas station,
That's about it.
That's all you need. Oh man, what was I gonna ask you? Sorry, just had a brain fart. Man, my apologies. Go ahead. Sorry, I was gonna ask
No,
something.
That's all right. But kind of on that point, what I was talking about, out of a single car garage and stuff like that, like it's really cool to when you do get that 10 to 20-minute breather, to kind of like sit back and you look through, your email, and a couple random people sent you photos from, Texas and California, and with huge bass and you're jigging its mouth and stuff like that. It is a very cool and humbling thing to think about that, once again, out of a small single car garage in a tiny town, that I've been able to sell to that many different states and that many different lures. It's pretty cool to sit back and think about.
Heck yeah,
obviously,
man.
It's always easy to get caught up in the the rat race all the time. But I do think it is important to do take a little step back and during all the issues that you're facing currently, kind of sit back and think like, wow, like even if I stopped today, what I did was still pretty cool.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Yeah, that's a huge accomplishment, man. That's going to make you proud for sure. The question I was going to ask you was, now that you're picking up all these stores, will you have a list of those stores where your baits will be available, like on your website or something?
Yeah, so I'm trying to do it, and kind of just like how I had like the click through for Paddle and Fin. I'm trying to actually set it up to I've got a few more shops I'm waiting on to actually get their logos.
Okay.
So I can kind of do a similar thing, but yeah, I'm going to have a little list out, of a lot of the shops, or of the shops that I'm, and some of it, if they don't have a website, it'll basically be kind of like a Google link. Like basically their shop location,
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that'd be cool, if you had a shop like down the street from me, and I didn't have to wait for shipping or something, and I could still get the same product. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm just trying to think from like a consumer's point of view. That's what I wanted to ask you was, would you have that list publicly available so folks would know where to go?
And like the Fisherman's Central store, I fish by there all the time, so that's going to be the first experience of me walking into a store and seeing my product in front of my face.
That's cool. That's cool.
Now, what I'm going to get mad is if I have to go there and buy my own jigs because I forgot some. I'm going to get pretty mad at myself then. But,
Oh, too funny, man.
Yeah, I know it's going to happen at some point.
Right. So you recently launched a couple new baits, and you got some more launching. Obviously, a couple things got put on hold just because of the craziness that's been going on at the shop. But you launched the Swim and Spin, and you said that's been doing really well, right?
Yeah, so we literally just launched that last night, I think. It was either last night or the night before. It's all kind
Okay.
of a blur right now. So,
Yeah. Get it.
But no, so that's actually that's the first part of the quote unquote La La series. It's a tournament angler down in Louisiana. His name's Dennis Narcisse, and his nickname's La La, so that's where that came from.
Okay.
But the dude's a stick,
Nice.
and they and I've talked to some of the locals down there and stuff, like on the phone and stuff randomly, and they're like, yeah, like he's one of those guys that will beat most people while he's in the back of the boat, fishing
That's
tournaments
awesome.
and stuff like that. So he's definitely a cool guy to work with, and this was the first lure in that series. We're working on a few others too. But yeah, it's essentially my swinging swim jig. So you have that free or that swinging style hook,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a wide gap hook, so the bait's relatively weedless, and with the swinging, it helps you come through a lot of cover.
Yeah.
And then also you get that leverage advantage too, when you are fighting a fish and it changes directions, you kind of got that extra second of reaction time,
Mm-hmm.
because the hook's going with them. And but yeah, it's the swinging swim jig, and it has an underspin. It has like
Nice.
a fixed wire form on it, and it's actually got a size 3.5 willow. So it's pretty big for that type of lure, the blade that's put on it. But it runs true, and so far they're whacking them down there on it. So
Nice.
as soon as I put it on, I think roughly in an hour and a half there was about 10 orders of them.
Nice.
So people are definitely excited for that. So that's pretty cool.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. What else you got coming out soon, man? I know we talked about a bunch of stuff the last time you were on, but I know you've been kind of slowly launching some new things that you've been working on. So
right.
what's coming next, man?
One of the big ones that launched that's about a month ago, maybe a little less, is that through the Woodward series, that Elite Swimmer.
Yeah.
Tail swim bait, and I've been really enjoying the reviews on that. Now, obviously, I'm fairly nerdy and I really get into designs and stuff, but there was actually kind of one thing that happened with this bait by accident. Now, it's a good thing, so I'm happy, but I can't take credit for doing it. Is if you put this swim bait, once again, it's the Woodward's Elite Swimmer, if you put that swim bait on an underspin, or even like a chatterbait or something like that or whatever, which most chatterbaits are fine, but like an underspin, like the big issues with underspins are if you try to reel them at any speed, they roll on you. So you always have to fish them slow, which mine, through its design, that quick change underspin, you can fish that faster than most, but you still can't burn it.
Yeah.
When you put the Elite Swimmer on it, you can even take the smallest one and you can burn it, and it'll just track through.
Interesting.
So, like I said, completely accidental. I would love to take credit for it, but it definitely wasn't on purpose. So, but it's cool that worked out.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome.
Which we will be eventually down the road, coming out with a few more colors than that. That's my first soft plastic to launch. So I really wanted to test the market and, get some reviews on it and, make sure that I, half know what I'm doing.
Sure.
And then we're very, very close on launching a blade bait, which obviously that's going to be really popular in the Great Lakes, or a lot of, if people are fishing deep, stuff like that. This thing is going to have just a crap ton of vibration, which was the goal, so I came up with a nice custom design on it to really get that thing vibrating back and forth when you rip it up. And then we're looking even at the potentials of maybe even doing a little bit of like marabou on the back hook too, to try to just create something a little bit different,
Nice.
Just about to launch it's a drop shot hook, that is hooked, that has marabou tied to it. So you actually use it as a drop shot bait. You don't have to put a soft plastic on it. So we're working on that right now, and that's actually A lot of people do really well in smallmouth on it. I'm interested to try it too for largemouth, but just kind of see how that goes. And then, coming here pretty soon, we're pretty much all the design work and everything is done for the spinnerbait that I've been super excited about here for a while, because outside of a flipping jig, a spinnerbait's my second favorite. Pretty much my whole life, I've just loved them. And there's a lot that you can do to them with, mix matching blades, working on blade sizes and all that stuff, and just getting, quality plated blades, which is harder than a lot of people think. Stuff like that people would be shocked at how different similar looking spinnerbait, if you take a half-ounce white with double willows from tackle store A or tackle shop A, and you take another one, that's maybe a little bit more, homemade, a lot more, bigger blades, better blades. With me, where I'm doing a custom design head to really help it track straight, even with a real big blade on it. You would be shocked at fishing with your buddy in the same scenario and seeing them all hit just the one spinnerbait.
Nice.
Even though quick look from 10 feet away, they look fairly similar.
Right.
These blades, it's double willow, it's white, But
right.
You would be extremely shocked at how much just the smallest tweaks in spinnerbaits can make a difference.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I know I learned that firsthand last year. I had some just cheap spinner baits, and then I ran them next to a better, higher end spinner bait, and it was like night and day difference in bites. I was just what is going on right now?
Yeah. And now you are always going to have the scenario where somebody does buy the $1 Walmart special.
Sure.
And they end up catching an 8-pounder that you didn't
resist
in that body of water. That's always going to happen,
Sure.
So people always like, well, I caught this on this one. Okay, that stuff is going to happen. I'm not saying that. But if you look at your averages and seeing, hey, throwing that one versus this one, which one's going to catch the majority of the fish? Right. It's typically that very thought out, quality made, quality component spinnerbait.
Absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, I'm excited to see that, man, when it's all said and done. I'm like you, spinnerbait's one of my go-tos for sure. I know the difference in quality, and I know I used to talk to Jay Randall about that too, because he used to make some spinnerbaits himself, just for personal use.
Right.
He's like, man, they're just so expensive because of the parts, because he's not buying in quantity and stuff like that. But he said, it made all the difference in the world. And, one day him and I were out, and he was running a spinnerbait right next to me, and I was throwing a very similar color or almost exactly the same, and he was just smashing them. And I'm like, what is going on here? So,
that one has definitely been compared to everything else, obviously, like doing a soft plastic, that's fairly easy. You find a company that makes a good plastisol and you're done.
Yeah, right.
Not even the jig, you find a good skirt, as far as the skirt tabs go, you find a decent hook, you find a good skirt, and you're done.
Yeah, right.
But the spinnerbaits has been a much harder thing for the whole sourcing side of the business, because you got, which I'm doing a custom bend for the line tie, and then doing a custom rolled in for the end there for the main blade. Really trying to make sure that those blades will not come off, even if you get hit by a pike or whatever.
Sure.
Because that's the most expensive part of that, especially if you're using a premium, plated blade.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to put bigger blades than you buy from other competitors.
Okay.
One of my biggest things that I love with spinnerbaits is, where the average spinnerbait is going to come with a size 4 or 4.5 willow. And the reason they tend towards those little bit smaller blades is because they don't produce so much thump that bait's always going to track straight. the blade is actually what will make a spinnerbait roll on you. If you reel it too fast or whatever.
Sure.
So there's a lot more engineering than people kind of thought when going through and making my own head design on, where bait might take a 4.5 willow. I'm going to come out with one that has all the way up to a size 6 willow.
Okay.
And it's going to give you, even in a willow leaf, you're going to have a lot of thump and a lot of flash. And that's what I really played with a lot last year, prototyping was there a big difference in when I throw bigger blades versus smaller ones? And there was actually a huge difference in both numbers and size.
Nice.
And I caught a lot of big fish last year that I didn't even know existed in those waters. Places that I've, relatively small places or whatever, but, places that I've fished for years.
Nice.
And, normally you go through and, hey, I've fished this place 40 times and the biggest fish I've ever caught is like 2.5 or 3. And then all of a sudden using those much larger blades going, and I think the one place I ended up catching one just under 6. That's a place I fished for 8 years, and, it wasn't like I was fishing it really any different. It was just I was throwing a different blade combination. So I'm really trying to push the blade size while making sure that it runs right.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm a firm believer, man, in just those subtle differences can ignite a bite, especially on high pressured waters. If you're, throwing the same old thing that everybody else on the lake is, and you just throw something just slightly different, whether it be color, blade size, an oddball color, something like that, that could spark a bite because those fish are so used to seeing, not to knock the jig, but like, a lot of times you talk to guys that are jig fishing and they fish a black and blue jig, right? And if you can tweak that color just a little bit, sometimes that could be all the difference in the world to get the bites when those guys that are throwing the black and blue aren't,
Right.
So, we had that conversation about, what was it, watermelon candy last year or something? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's so weird to think that, fish see in the grayscale.
Yeah.
That, and I do agree, like, okay, some of the very, very, very tiny differences, that's more for catching customers than fish.
Yeah,
but
right.
It is remarkable, honestly. I carry 14 colors in the jigs right now. And as many people that ordered or custom ordered after Ricketts showed off that hot sauce, jig there, that will probably be added to the lineup as just a production color.
Nice.
So 15, and out of those 15 colors, I have a body of water or a scenario where they're all important to me.
Yeah.
Now I predominantly will throw about the same 4 colors, but there are some specific places and bodies of water that I really have a lot of confidence in this kind of little bit off the wall or a little bit different color.
Sure.
It makes things harder on you because you got to carry them all.
Yeah.
But, it makes it better for me, right?
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's as much as I want to tell people like, oh, that color's, it's not that important. If it were up to me, I'd carry 4. It's just not true.
Right.
It's like I said, it can be frustrating because you got to go through them all to figure out what the fish want.
Right.
But,
Right.
But yeah, no, I think they all have their time and place for sure.
I dig it, man. Right on. Any final thoughts? Things we didn't talk about? Anything like that, my friend?
Yeah, no, it's just a big thank you, to everybody that has been ordering, or anybody that's went into some of these random tackle stores across the nation and have said like, oh, hey, do you have these jigs? And if they didn't, that kind of sparks the conversation for them to get in contact with me.
Right.
It's the word of mouth thing's really starting to move. I want to thank everybody for that. And obviously thank everybody from the paddle and fin team and stuff. I know you guys really helped put in a lot of plugs for me, and it's very humbling. And like I said, just want to say a big thank you to everybody.
Yeah, for sure, man. When in doubt, get the jig out.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's everybody makes fun of me for that slogan when I came out
Dude,
with it, but
I love it, dude. It's perfect.
It holds true for me about everywhere I go. So
It's pretty much the same for me, man. I mean, I'm usually throwing the jig anyways, but yeah, I like it. It's catchy. It rings true for sure. So right on. Very cool. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in to another episode of Paddle and Fin and getting to hear everything from Cody. Don't forget, go to JigMasters.com, use promo code PNF20 and save you 20% off on all your JigMasters. I always say jigs, but it's like you got so much more than that, man. So
yeah, that name's starting to get a little difficult. No, jigs will still always be the cornerstone pieces for sure. But yes, the lineup is evolving and expanding for sure.
Very cool, man. Looking to see what's coming next. All right, boys and girls, as always, tight lines, smooth paddle. Peace. Go check out the website, guys. Paddle, the letter N and fin.com. Also check out YouTube, youtube.com/paddle and fin. If you got a question, comment, want to hear from a future guest, feel free to email us at paddle, the letter N and fin @gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We're doing giveaways, announcements, things like that at Facebook and Instagram at paddle and fin. Shout out to our show supporters, Rocktown Adventures, Loveland Canoe and Kayak, Hammered Lures, Fish Mob Lures, TRC Covers, Ketch Products. Go to ketchproducts.com. You can put the paddle and fin logo right on your catch board. Don't forget to go over and pick up your JigMasters Jigs. Use promo code PNF20 and save 20% today. Don't forget to rate and review the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to. It helps grow the audience, helps others find our podcast. So please drop a 5-star rating in on the podcast platform you're listening on. Don't forget about the recycled plastics program, you guys. Take your used plastic baits, put them in an envelope, mail them to the address in the show notes. Our man Eric Richards at Hammered Lures melts those down, makes new baits, and donates them to various chapters of Heroes on the Water.